Alrighty, we are back. Took a little pause for the cause. If you're expecting to see Brian this morning, he's not here. We think he might have gone to the southern border to meet his idol Trump. Anyway, but he'll be back tomorrow. He's got some things that he's going to touch on, including a letter that was sent to
the Honorable John W. Huber.
Yeah, John Huber. It was
U.S.
sent,
Attorney.
Right. It was sent by our own Doug Collins, and it was sent by Jim Jordan. They want to know what's going on with John Huber. Why isn't the DOJ being investigated? So I'm going to leave that to him. I'm not going to speculate on that. It was sent to him by Doug Collins, copy, and I think Congressman Collins is going to be on in the morning, but I'm not sure about that. Brian did mention that he thought he was going to try to make it, and I'm sure that if he is on, that that'll be a
or maybe a call in.
Yeah, a topic of conversation. Yeah, he usually calls in. Usually calls in around the 8:35 mark. Isn't that right, Josh?
Yeah, Mark Meadows is on this too.
Yeah, Mark Meadows. That's right. The three of them. Anyway, wanted to kind of lighten up a little bit and talk a little bit about sports. We had a lot of stuff going on. I was fortunate to be able to attend. Every year the NHL, National Hockey League, does what they call the All-Star, the Outdoor Classic. They do one game outdoors.
And only one.
And only one outdoors. And this year it was at Notre Dame Stadium. And it's always on New Year's Day. It's always at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And I think they've only lost one game due to weather, and that was because it was pouring rain one year. I can't remember which year that was. I think it started in 2006, something like that. Anyway, my brother up in Chicago is a huge Blackhawks fan, as I am, and he's a season ticket holder, so he was able to get tickets to that game. So there are two couples went to Chicago, spent New Year's Eve, had a nice quiet dinner with some friends, and then we jumped in the car the next day. Brett and I got picked up in the morning by my brother, and we drove to South Bend about an hour and a half, and spent the day with 80,000 of our newest friends.
Hey.
So I've got, I just lost my earpiece. Anyway, I've got a picture of the stadium, and it's really, really unbelievable. I mean, it's a happening. Josh, if you put that hockey one up, there you go. We were, you can see there Notre Dame Stadium, full house, 80,000 people. They set the arena up on the football field. A typical hockey rink is 200 feet by 85 feet. So
that's it in the background, right?
Yeah, that's it right in the middle of the stadium. Then you see the NHL logo up there. That's the main stage. We were actually 12 rows off the front edge, and I don't want to say it's not about just the hockey game, because it's about the experience. Mm-hmm. And we it was cold. It was 35 degrees, so everybody's bundled up, and you're sitting in these chairs. Put hockey 2 up, if you will, Josh. And that there's me with my Cub hat. Brian calls me the Cub fan, and my buddy there. So we had great seats. We had a great time. The girls, unfortunately, were shopping on Michigan Avenue while we were sitting freezing. It cost me
their gain, your loss.
It cost me a few dollars, but anyways, my wife's worth it. Anyway,
I heard there was like some issues with the libations there. The adult beverages supposedly ran out. Can you comment on that?
Well, it didn't run out in front of us. We always had a tall boy sitting in front of us. But
good Boy Scouts you are.
Yeah, good Boy Scouts we are. Yeah, we made sure that we kept the fluid running. You don't want to sit out in the cold and get dehydrated. So.
One disgruntled fan said, I stood in line for all this time to get up there, and all I got was rancid hot chocolate.
Well,
I think he was
yeah,
overstating it.
maybe those were the folks in the cheap seats, but and there weren't many cheap seats, let me tell you. But they had, and I'm not gonna bore you with a bunch of details on this, but they had a 360-degree camera, and you can take that down, Brett. My buddy Brett made a really funny comment. He said, you know, we've got a lot of conspiracy theories that we bounce back and forth, but they have this 360-degree camera, and they sent everybody a link that attended the game. And you literally had all of these arrows and buttons. I think I showed it to you at the house.
No, you didn't.
You didn't see that? They have all these arrows, and you can go any place in the stadium, and you can zoom in on your seat, and you literally can bring your face up full screen.
Wow.
And it's clear as a bell.
Your face. I mean, not
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just amazing what they're trying to get everybody to do is trying to get everybody to dot themselves and show how many people have viewed this thing. It's probably just a way to collect data, but
I was going to say, it goes right to Google and the
yeah,
CIA.
That's right.
Bad move.
Anyway, the funniest comment that I heard about that was from Brett, though, and he said, you know, you can be sitting with 80,000 people at a stadium, 80,000 people in this stadium. They can take a picture that you can count your nose hairs literally, but they can't get anybody to take a picture of that flag that's supposed to be sitting on the moon.
Here we
Anyway,
go.
you don't have to
Here
read
we go.
You don't have to read anything into the fact that maybe
That
we didn't
flag
go.
is whipping in the wind.
That's right. Anyway, we said we were going to touch on sports a little bit. What is if you're rooting for a team, football team, and you know that you had to lose? Would you rather get blown out, or would you rather just lose it in the last second?
Blown out.
Blown out?
Yeah.
Well, Alabama got blown out, folks. They got blown out 44-16 in the National Collegiate Championship game.
Coming in favored as they were.
Nick Saban's worst loss as the Crimson Tide coach. Man, he got his fanny handed to him, folks. And you know what's interesting is that social media kept swirling out there, and I got to tell you, love them or hate them, I'm a Notre Dame fan. So I mean, and they got beat 30-3 by Clemson, and everybody on social media was saying they shouldn't be there. You can't have a team with only 13 games and not play in a conference. And say what you want, folks, but if that's your theory, Alabama shouldn't have been there. Oklahoma shouldn't have been there.
Why have it at all?
Why have it at all? Yeah, anyway. I agree with you. I'd rather get blown out if I'm going to lose.
Yeah.
Unlike the Bears the other day, folks.
Oh, jeez.
Unlike the Bears the other day.
Poor guy.
Who were in a defensive struggle in the first playoff game against the
defending Super Bowl champion.
defending Super Bowl champs.
That is so
Yeah, Philadelphia Eagles. I really don't like Eagles fans, but be that as it may. They're the ones that boo Santa Claus, right?
Or hockey fans are even tougher.
Anyway, defensive struggle the whole game. Bears are down a point, one measly point. They bring it down the field, 3 seconds left. They bring in Corey Parkey, the place kicker, the field goal kicker. Kicks it, boom, right through. Bears win? Nope, Bears didn't win. The Eagles coach called a timeout.
Timeout.
As his foot was swinging toward the football.
Got it right in the umpire's ear.
Right in the umpire's ear, he said, timeout. So what do?
Ice the kicker.
They freeze him, they ice him, call it what you want. And what does he do? He gets the ball tipped at the line and he hits the post.
Double doink.
Yeah. So
Hit the upright and the crossbar before it bouncing back onto the field of play.
we lose by 1. After we had the game won, I guess you could say that. Maybe you can't say that. They really didn't win the game. They did enough to win the game.
They did enough to win the game.
But the coach was smart enough to call a timeout. And someone sent me a picture of the place kicker's car as he was leaving the stadium at Soldier Field. Do you have that picture? There he is.
Oh,
Just That was Corey Parkey's car. He hit the post on that one too, folks.
Well, I don't know about that, but
Anyway.
he did take a lot of grief. I mean, he was booed walking off the field. He had a lot of social media stuff dumped on him. And you know, again, I mean, I'm not a field goal kicker. I suppose a lot of stress and everything between them, the holder, the game, and the wins, and everything goes into them successfully kicking field goals.
Who's the beer company? The beer company is
Goose Island.
Goose Island. They're a Chicago
Brewery.
They're a brewery. They're kind of a boutique brewery.
Yeah, whatever they call them, the specialty mini breweries.
Yeah. I mean,
Craft beer.
They came. Yeah, there you go. They came up with a promotion, right? What was the deal?
They felt sorry for this guy who's taking so much grief. So they said, okay, all you fans who think you can do it, we're going to set up a field goal outside our main tasting room, and we'll put the ball down, and they're going to be 43 yards away, and kick away. And if anybody can kick a field goal through this thing set up at the brewery, free beer for a year.
So you got to drink You've got to drink what, 6 beers first before you can attempt the kick, and then.
I don't know about that. They probably want you to have a few beers before you try it. But, again, a nice show of support for a kid who's going through some self-evaluation and probably a lot of stress. It's nice.
Anyway, my Bears took it on the nose, but it is what it is. 2019 predictions are already out, and they say it's the way too early top 20. But I'll
this is for college.
Give you college football. I'll give you the top teams, just the top 10. Clemson Tigers number 1, and who would you expect number 2? Alabama Crimson Tide. Georgia Bulldogs number 3. Ohio State Buckeyes number 4
with a new coach.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My Notre Dame Fighting Irish, number 5. They will be back, folks. They will be back. Oklahoma Sooners, number 6. Number 7, there's Debbie's Florida Gators at number 7. Anyway, we've got Texas Longhorns, number 8. Texas A&M, Aggies, number 9.
Hey, I lived through the 7 overtime game with them and LSU.
Yeah. Let me tell you, the Texas Longhorns are back.
They look very much improved. I saw them earlier in the year, and then the bowl game against Georgia. They looked a whole lot more dialed in.
Yeah,
so they're going to be.
They had something to prove in that game against Georgia, and Georgia never showed up.
Yeah. I think Kirby's still got a bit of an issue motivating those kids to play a full game.
And number 10, your beloved
LSU.
LS who? LS Tigers.
Go
LSU Tigers. Anyway,
yeah.
Michigan weighs in at number 11, but I won't go through the rest. Then we get out to the West Coast where they don't even play football. Do they?
Ooh, yeah, they play football.
Of
a sorts.
All right. Let's see. What else do you want to finish up this segment with?
Sports-wise.
Anything else out there?
I'm trying to think.
We're coming into the
basketball, of course, has started, but
yeah.
I'm not really that big on NBA basketball.
Don't you think they ought to? Maybe I shouldn't go there. Don't you think they ought to? If they're going to play, I'm going to go there anyway. Do you enjoy basketball?
I like college better, just for the.
I like it in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
When they have the
March Madness
field of 64 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I just have never been able to get into professional basketball. Even when the Bulls, we're from Chicago, and the Bulls were very, very good for quite a while. It was fun to watch the playoffs and Michael Jordan and that whole cast of characters. I still think they ought to start the game, give each team 100 points, and play 5 minutes. The season would go really, really fast.
Indeed. And what's your formula for soccer?
Yeah, that's right. I'm actually, as you know, I was never a fan for a while.
Yeah.
But I have grown to like it after watching some World Cups, after going and visiting your son and watched him play college soccer. It was. My wife understands the game much better than I do. I'm starting to understand the game, the nuances, and I still don't understand how they go through those theatrics when they go down. Man, I'm telling you, those guys should be actors.
Yeah, they are.
Anyway, it's not a bad game to watch.
Right. Right.
Yeah, you've got to really appreciate the skill level that these top players in Atlanta, winning the overall.
Yeah, the MLS Cup this year.
The MLS
Atlanta
Cup.
United.
Atlanta United, congrats to them. That was a big feather in their cap. They've got a huge fan base.
Well, yeah, and in their second year.
Yeah.
I mean, second year of being a team. So.
I mean, they sell the place out. They do a good job down there, and I was surprised to see the number of people. I mean, on any given day when they're playing, you can drive down the highway in the Atlanta area and see people wearing those jerseys, and you know they're on their way to the game.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
and unfortunately, the coach that took them to the Cup this year.
He's gone, right?
Yeah, he's going to coach the Mexican national team.
Oh, wow.
So you'll probably see him in the next World Cup round. And so I know what they're going to do with the coach, and I know a couple of their top players are possibly going to be going to international leagues overseas. So
that's a step up?
That's a step up, yeah. That's a big step up.
Okay.
So.
And we've got the World Cup coming here when? In 2026?
I think it's 2026, yeah.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure Atlanta probably will get, some of the games. I don't know where the semi and finals, they're always sort of a political thing, so we'll see where that goes.
Yeah, yeah. So, anyway, well, I guess we've gummed up sports enough.
Yeah. I don't know if you want to go another short break now, or.
Yeah, let's take a break, Josh, and we'll come back, and we're going to we'll touch on maybe the Supreme Court a little bit. We'll see what Aunt Ruthie's doing these days. First time she's missed the oral arguments since she was appointed to the court in '93, or voted onto the court in 1993. We'll touch on Rosenstein a little bit. His all of a sudden resignation 2 days after the letter comes out from Collins, and and Jim Jordan and Mark Meadows, that wondering why the DOJ is not investigated and where's John Huber. That's a little telling in and of itself.
Indeed.
And then we can jump over and talk about some of the trade talks that are underway.
Yep.
Talk about Kim Jong-un, who's back over there meeting with his...
Fourth trip to China.
Yeah, Chinese. Did he take the slow train this time?
I don't know what he took.
Maybe
he took the boat.
Slow boat to China?
Slow boat to China.
Anyway, that's a good way to take a break. We'll take a slow boat to China out of here, and we'll be back after these messages. Take us to break, Josh.